Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something a bit different, our main source. It's actually a motivational conversation practice script.
Yeah, designed for language learners. Seems simple on the surface.
Exactly. But don't let that fool you. This short script is packed, absolutely packed, with universal psychological strategies, stuff that applies to any goal, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when you hit that wall, that feeling of just being too tired to even start. We've all been there.
We really have.
Uh,
So, our mission today is to kind of pull out those practical nuggets, the actionable strategies this source uses to fight that heavy right now feeling, as it puts it.
to keep you moving forward, essentially.
Yeah.
Whether it's learning a language, like in the script, or, coding, working out, anything that needs consistency.
Okay, so let's dive in. The source kicks off with this short dialogue. It's really honest. One person just says, "I'm so tired, I don't feel like studying today."
That's the voice of struggle, isn't it? Raw and relatable.
Totally. And the response is interesting. It doesn't just say push through, it pivots. It says, but remember why you started, and you've come so far already.
Yeah, that's key. It immediately shifts your focus away from the immediate discomfort, the tiredness, and back to your original purpose, your why, and also the investment you've already made.
It's like a quick mental reset. But then comes, I think, the core advice of this whole section. Rest if you must, but don't quit.
That line is crucial.
It is, but here's my question. Isn't resting sometimes just, the start of quitting, that slippery slope? How does the source make sure you draw that line?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of it. The source is very deliberate with that wording.
Mhm.
Quitting. Quitting is final. It's like cutting the cord. You decide it's over.
Right, and that feels like failure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And think about the practical side. If you quit, truly quit, restarting later takes a huge amount of mental energy, that activation energy you mentioned.
Yeah, where just picking up the book again feels impossible.
Precisely. But resting is framed completely differently. It's planned maintenance. It's part of the process, actually.
So resting doesn't mean you failed or stopped caring.
Not at all. It acknowledges the need for a break, physical, mental, whatever, while actually reaffirming the commitment underneath. You haven't broken the chain, you're just looping it.
Yeah.
You're saying, I'm still in this, I just need a pause.
Ah, okay. So the commitment remains intact.
Yes. And the source connects this directly to building confidence and fluency. Confidence comes from that unbroken chain of effort, even if the links are small some days. It's not about constant high intensity.
That really reframes it. It's less about brute force willpower and more about smart strategy.
Okay, so if the mindset is rest, don't quit, how do we actually talk ourselves into that? Let's look at the practice expressions part of the source.
Right, this is where it gets really practical. It's basically giving you the script for your own internal monologue. Tools to interrupt that urge to just give up. The first one really nails it. I'm feeling a bit tired, but I'll keep going. It acknowledges the feeling, but doesn't let it win.
Yes, acceptance without surrender. And notice the next one. Small progress is still progress. This is so important.
Why specifically that one?
Well, because when you're learning something hard or working on a long project, it's easy to get overwhelmed by how much is left. You focus on mastery, on the finish line.
Which can feel miles away.
Exactly. Demotivating. But this phrase shifts the goalpost. Success becomes just making some progress, however small, showing up. Suddenly, you can feel successful every single day just by doing a little bit. That builds momentum.
And it links back to the core idea with, I need to rest, but I won't give up. You're literally stating the contract with yourself.
You are. And maybe the most powerful one emotionally is, I'm proud of how far I've come.
That one feels different. It forces you to look back, not just forward or at the present struggle. Why is looking backward so effective here?
Ah, well, psychologically, that's tapping into positive reinforcement. When you're stuck and feeling down, your brain is often fixated on the gap, the distance to the goal. That's anxiety-provoking.
Makes sense.
But forcing yourself to look back, to actually acknowledge the miles you've already covered, the effort you've already put in, that triggers a little dopamine release. It's a reminder of past competence, past success.
Like accessing your own track record.
Precisely. It's internal validation. And the source even says to really feel the meaning of these phrases. It knows this isn't just about reciting words. It's about connecting with the feeling, the proof from your own history. It builds resilience from within.
Using your own past as fuel for the present. That's clever. Okay, let's move into the real talk section. Here, the source does something important. It normalizes the struggle.
Yes, it says things like, even native speakers get tired. Even teachers, even professionals. Everyone feels unmotivated sometimes.
Why is that normalization step so critical?
Because, honestly, when we feel that deep fatigue or lack of motivation, our first thought is often self-blame. Something's wrong with me. I'm not cut out for this. Other people find this easier.
Yeah, the comparison trap.
Right. So by saying everyone feels this way, professionals included, it removes that layer of shame.
Yeah.
It reframes fatigue as just
Yeah.
a normal human thing, a variable to manage, not a sign you should stop.
Okay, so if everyone gets tired, feeling tired isn't the problem. The real secret, according to the source, isn't avoiding tiredness. It's
To keep moving, even slowly, consistency over intensity. That's the mantra.
which leads us to maybe the most concrete piece of advice in the whole thing, the magic number almost. Do it just a little every day. And specifically, even 5 minutes helps your brain stay connected. 5 minutes.
It sounds almost trivial, doesn't it? 5 minutes.
It really does. We usually think, if I can't do a full hour, what's the point?
But the power of that 5 minutes isn't really about the work you get done in that time. It's about something else. It's about avoiding what psychologists sometimes call cognitive friction.
Cognitive friction. Explain that.
Think of your project, your learning, like an engine. If you let it go completely cold, don't touch it for days or weeks, the effort needed to start it up again is massive. That's cognitive friction. Just getting going feels hard.
Okay, yeah. Starting is often the hardest part after a break.
Exactly. Doing just 5 minutes consistently. That keeps the engine warm. It keeps the neural pathways active, the vocabulary fresh, the process is familiar. It maintains the connection. It prevents that total mental disengagement.
So the 5 minutes isn't about output, it's about maintenance, keeping the pathway clear.
Precisely. And it's also what you could call an identity action.
An identity action.
Yeah. By doing those 5 minutes, you're reinforcing to yourself, I am a learner, or I am a writer, or whatever your goal is. You're acting in alignment with that identity. Consistency reinforces identity, and identity drives behavior. It's a positive feedback loop powered by just not stopping completely, avoiding zero.
Wow, okay. That makes the 5 minute rule seem much more profound. It's not about the quantity, it's about the continuity.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, so finally, the source wraps up with a speaking challenge. These 3 questions. We should probably view them less as homework and more as like a quick diagnostic tool for yourself, right?
Definitely. A self-assessment for your own motivation patterns.
Okay, question 1. What do you do when you feel tired or unmotivated? That's basically asking, what are your current coping strategies, good or bad?
Right. What's your default reaction? And number 2, why did you start learning English? Or whatever the goal is.
Back to the why, reconnecting with the original spark.
Exactly. It cuts through the immediate feeling of, I don't want to, and reminds you of the bigger picture, the core motivation. If that why is strong, the how becomes easier to figure out.
And the third one, what helps you stay consistent? This makes you identify what's already working for you.
Yeah, maybe strategies you haven't even consciously recognized as effective. It helps you double down on your strengths.
Now, here's an interesting detail. The source specifically says to speak the answers out loud. Why does saying them aloud make a difference compared to just thinking them? Seems like an extra step.
It might seem small, but it's actually quite significant. It's about commitment and making it real.
How so?
Well, when a thought just stays in your head, it's kind of slippery. Easy to ignore, easy to change your mind about. But when you actually verbalize it, when you hear your own voice say, okay, when I feel tired, I will just do 5 minutes, it becomes more concrete.
Like making a declaration.
Exactly. It increases accountability, even if only to yourself. It solidifies the intention. It moves it from a vague idea to an actual stated plan. It's a form of self-commitment that's just stronger than silent thought.
Turning self-talk into self-instruction. Okay, that makes sense. Powerful little detail. So let's quickly recap the main takeaways we've pulled from this surprisingly deep script. First, understanding that crucial difference. Resting is necessary maintenance. Quitting is stopping altogether. They aren't the same.
Right. And using that specific self-talk, those practice expressions, to manage your mindset, especially focusing on past progress to fuel present effort.
And maybe the biggest practical tip, the power of that tiny, consistent effort, even just 5 minutes. It's not about the output of those minutes. It's about keeping the engine warm, maintaining the connection, and reinforcing your identity.
And remember that final encouraging thought from the source. Just by listening to this, by engaging with these ideas, you haven't given up, and that's something to be proud of. Every little bit counts. Every word spoken, every minute spent gets you closer.
So building on that idea of consistency, building confidence and fluency, maybe here's a final thought for you to consider. If confidence is how you feel about your ability and fluency or mastery is how you demonstrate it, how much of that final mastery is really just the slow, steady accumulation of all those tiny, consistent, non-zero days?
It suggests success might be less about occasional heroic efforts and much more about simply refusing to stop completely. Those 5 minutes really add up.